Hi everyone, it's Ezra May. Welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new Friday Films for you. It is called 5 Feet Apart and it's directed by Justin Baldoni and it stars Hayley Lu Richardson and Cole Sprouse, and everybody does such an incredible job in this film. Every single character, every single storyline, all the cinematography, the music especially, everything about this film is just beautiful. It's definitely made my top 10 favorite films of all time, and it's very rare that something like this comes along. I tend to gravitate towards films that have a little bit of a sadder kind of melancholic tone to it, but that are ultimately hopeful, because I think that's just what life is about. You know, life is full of suffering, it's full of pain, but it's full of joy and hope and love, and I think that we need to sort of be able to capture that in our art. So 5 Feet Apart is definitely the best film of 2019 that I've seen so far. So the film deals with cystic fibrosis. It has to do with your body not being able to handle nutrients in the same way as a normal body can. There's all this medicine that you have to take in order just to be able to breathe properly on a day-to-day basis. It's something that we definitely need to create more awareness about. I think this film does a great job of that. I know the director Justin was so passionate about telling that story, and even though it is fiction, like the actual disease is real. These kids basically can't get within 6 feet of one another. They can catch each other's bacteria. It sort of deals with that concept of like, can you love someone without touching them? And the answer to that, which I think the film does very well, is yes. So the script was developed the same time as the book is written, so they're quite similar, so it's very accurate. I have the book right here, so this is the original cover. I borrowed this from the library, but I bought the movie tie-in edition with, you know, I'm a sucker for movie tie-in editions. I did read the book before I watched the movie because I couldn't wait. I don't think it really tainted my movie experience. I mean, I did know what was going to happen, but it's still different when you see it come to screen. I wouldn't say that you'd have to read it first or you have to watch it first. For me, it's just like whatever order you prefer to do it in. Story-wise, they're pretty much the same, only the book has maybe 2 or 3 scenes that might be deleted scenes. It's beautifully written, it's beautifully made. It just makes you really appreciate life. The whole idea of the film was inspired by Claire Wineland, who was a real-life CF patient, and sadly she passed away last year, but she used to document her stories on her YouTube channel. Looking at the journey they go through is so inspiring. Even though they struggle, they really fight to live, and I think that's something that people who don't even have CF need to hear. Like, I actually needed this film to tell me that the human connection is something we all need. So it's not really about touch, it's more about talking to each other and actually being there for each other. Stella, played by Hayley Lu Richardson, you might know her from The Edge of 17, Split. She's done so many good things and she's an incredible actress. I hope she does so much more. Stella is a very optimistic kind of character. She understands that she has a disease. She does everything she can to stay organized. She wants to stay alive for her family, and she really cares about people, and I think because her and Will are so opposites, they kind of rub off on each other, and I really love that transformation. These characters have layers, there's a lot of, you know, depth to them, and that all comes through with the script and the characterization. Because they cannot touch, you know, we rely on these conversations that they have and these moments they have in the same room together. She kind of has a revelation in the film that, you know, CF has taken a lot from her life, so she can take 1 foot back. So instead of the 6-foot rule, it becomes this 5 feet apart so that they can, you know, have a friendship and really enjoy each other's company. And that scene is very telling. It's the way it's done is so beautiful. I know a lot of people are going to see this film because of Cole Sprouse, who is a famous childhood actor. He did such an incredible job at playing Will. It's kind of his first sort of big debut feature film, and the layers that he brings to this character are just incredible. Will, at the beginning of the film, just kind of hates his life, and he's an artist. He likes to draw cartoons, and he's a very smart guy, and he's very curious about life, but of course this disease is standing in his way. Poe, played by Moses Arias, is Stella's best friend. They grew up together in the hospital. Their relationship was definitely another key part of the film for me. I really loved it. Also, Stella's relationship with her nurses, so Barb and Julie and the doctor. These teens have to deal with something that kind of sucks. It really sucks, and the way they handle it is just so inspiring. I want to talk to you about my favorite moment. I especially love Stella and Will's first date. I thought that was the cutest thing. And the whole pool cue scene. When I read that in the book, I thought, wow, this is gonna be so powerful in the cinema, and I was not wrong. Just the fact that she gets the pool cue and, like, you know, brings it up to her shoulder. Another favorite scene, definitely Stella's operation. The first one without her sister Abby. She's really nervous because she might not come out of it because her body might not be able to fight all of the anesthetic, but Will, you know, recognizes this. He wants to do something for her. He sticks up the painting on the ceiling so that before she goes under, she can see her sister's drawing. Like, and then the fact that Cole Sprouse, you know, is singing. He sang the Bushel and a Peck song. I think that was the sweetest thing he'd ever done. And what she does in return, throwing him a birthday party, inviting his friend. Oh my gosh, the scavenger hunt. Everything they do for each other is so sweet, and you think about it, they don't even go outside. They're basically in the hospital the whole time, and what they do with their time is so precious. With YA, sometimes the scenes seem really tropey and like cliche, but this was not at all. They were the most natural actors. They had the most natural chemistry, and the way he looks at her and says, "Oh God, you're so beautiful." When I saw that part in the trailer, I thought, this movie is something different. This is not like all of those other YA films that are on Netflix or whatever. This is something that's on a whole other level. When Poe dies, the theater was definitely crying, and I mean, that moment there was so much happening because the doctor comes in, tells them that somebody's recently in a car accident, her lungs, you know, fit Stella's profile, and in the face of death, they're thinking about life. There's something so amazing about that. I mean, when you work at a hospital, you're dealing with this stuff. You don't have time to process the fact that somebody's just died because you're trying to save someone else's life. Whether you're a patient or an employee, you go through so much, like the daily struggle that everyone goes through to just try to help each other and save each other's lives. Haley Lu Richardson did an incredible job of reacting to that death. Then she goes into her room and then she's so overcome, and I never hugged him. He was my best friend. I never hugged him. The emotional punch of that line. And when Will comes in and says, "I'm here," and he touches her shoulder, and okay, so that part where she like, "What are you doing? Get out of my room." And he's like physically shaking, and because he did not realize that he touched her. That bit got me. But the absolute best scene is definitely the last one. He gets everybody to come and help him, give Stella this goodbye present of bringing the lights to her. And just the way he's looking at her through the window and the way that their hands touch on either side of the glass. I don't understand how these actors do it. They are incredible. And I'm waiting for it to come out on digital just so I can watch that bit again. It was so powerful. It reminded me of Beauty and the Beast. You know, if you love someone, you have to let them go. That's what it is. I mean, he wanted to protect her. He wanted her to have an extra 5 years of life. So the two key scenes that were missing for the film is one where Will has a fight with his mum, and then he realized that everything she's ever done was for him because she loves him, because she understands him. The other scene is of course the little epilogue at the end where Will and Stella meet 8 months later. I was waiting for that scene because I saw it in the trailer, but I kind of get why they didn't really need it, because it was supposed to be kind of hopeful. Like, they see each other at the airport. Stella's now got her new lungs and Will's still sick, but at least he's traveling the world now. And maybe it works better in the book because you can kind of imagine that yourself. And I think if you just assume that they were able to have a second chance at life because they loved each other so much and taught each other so many things. Sometimes the best love stories are kind of tragic in that they don't get to be together, they don't get married, they don't have kids, but they were able to be in each other's lives. And that's really the most powerful thing about movies like this. Knowing that sometimes people will come into your life and you'll want to and bring happiness, and you'll want to keep that happiness forever, but they leave that happiness within you. Ultimately, it was almost kind of spiritual, and I kind of like those films because when we have nothing, what we have is faith. And faith is about not knowing the end, not knowing the answers, and I really resonated with that. It meant a lot to me. Life is short and you shouldn't try to make your life so perfect because you want to keep it. You just have to live it, you know what I mean? Like, take every day by day. Don't look too far ahead, don't look too far back. Live in the present because that's all you have. I mean, these kids, you know, they're kind of living on a timeline, and we have the luxury of just not knowing because we're, you know, when you're not terminal, you don't really think about that stuff. But the fact that these kids are makes them so much more inspiring because they're really trying to do the most with their lives. I mean, her whole idea of taking one foot back, we should all be a bit like Stella and Will in our lives, you know, whether or not we have CF. Clearly I love these movies and I'm definitely a romantic, and it's just so beautiful and powerful, and I'm so happy that this film exists. I really am. It's beautiful. Thank you to everybody in this movie for raising awareness about CF. Please donate to the CF Foundation and support the research so that we can hopefully one day find a cure. I love this film so much. I hope you guys watch it, and thank you. Please check out my other Friday films if you're looking for any recommendations for your Friday night. I will see you in my next one. Bye!